And welcome my friend, and then I am planning to show you that how you can disassemble and repair your home or garage or factory or office washing machine. And this is like basic lesson, and I will go through all of these device parts and how we can disassemble washing machine. And let's go to forward. And this is really this washing machine's frame, and now it is empty, and we have made this job and dust, and all parts are disassembled. Okay, and then when we start this our job, we have to disassemble this our washing machine, and normally in back area, when I rotate that soon in another side, we can see that how we can disassemble this back cover plate. And let's go to do that next. Okay, and then in this back area, now this is like back area's cover, there is this cover what I have to open, and for that opening I need now Torx head drill bite, and purpose is to remove these screws and bolts in this back area, because I like to remove that cover in here. And see this one bolt, and this is really Torx head drill bite, and in that way I open the screws, and next I take all of these screws away in here. Okay, and now we can see when I take this my electric driver, these screws fastly away in here. And let's go to forward. Now I take my screws away. There is actually a little bit bigger screws in here, but these are small one. Okay, and then I remove another. There are a couple of screws left. This is free, and then area. Okay, good. And then there is two little bit bigger screws in here, and let's go to look those. Okay, and then I need really a little bit bigger Torx bolt for that opening, and I take my, there is fast block, and now I open these bolts, and they are a little bit different. Looks good. Then in this another side, okay, good. And now this my back cover is free. Now this back cover is free, and then I can only carefully lift this cover out, and now this part is free, and we can see this back area. And this washing machine's drive belt replace is really easy. I need to only little bit move that in this way, and then same time rotate, and this belt opens. This is so easy. And let's go to look again that how it happens. Firstly, I have to install this another side in this down area, and then next part in this washing machine disassemble is that how we can take this electric motor away, what is in here down area. Then of course when we are starting to do any repairs and especially motor replace, we have to unplug this our washing machine's electricity, because otherwise we have risk that we can get electric shock. Okay, and then when we have unplugged, my next step is to remove these two bolts, because then I can take this washing machine's electric motor away. Okay, and there is 10mm bolts, and I have in here 10mm socket, an electric impact driver, and there is this bolt. It's now free, and then second. Okay, and they look to be a little bit tight, and now these are free, and then I check that how much this my motor is moving. It is not yet moving. There is a little bit more these bolts, and let's go to open those. Then this motor removal, I need now big flathead screwdriver, and this engine becomes up. I can carefully move that, but when I install this my big flathead screwdriver in here and I carefully bend that in this way, then this motor comes up in that way, and then I need to only disconnect these electric cables in this back area, and let's go to look those. Those electric cables in this back area in here, and I have to disconnect these cables next. But now this motor is free and I can move this motor a little bit away, and in here we can see these connectors. Those connectors what I need to next open in here. Then when I continue my job, I have to take this upper cover away, and there are those torque set bolts, and I open these bolts next. Okay, in here this screw, and also in here. In here, good. And then in this side area, in this front, there are two screws. In this side, these small screws. And then I have to take out this front door, and there are these torque bolts in here. Here and here. And then this is a little bit moving, but I open next these bolts. In that way. Let's look at it. And now this front door opens. There are those joints. And there is lock, electric lock, what I open next. Really this door lock and two screws, what I open. And now this electric lock is free in this way. And then we go in up area. Up area we take out this cover, and there is thing that I press this switch in here, and same out, pull out. There is small locking pin in here. That area down and then pull out. And then there are two screws in their inside holes. And there is one torque bolt, and in here and in here, and I open those next. And for that opening, I need now a little bit longer extension bar torque head tool, and there are those similar small screws in here, and I open these. That one is there, and then there is this final one. And then when I have removed these all three panels, I can move this front console away, and there are now a couple of electric cables in here, and let's look these cables. Okay, and now when we are opening these things, I need pliers that I can cut these keeping connectors. They look like that, and then we can look in this inner area when I remove this all carefully. In that job I have to be carefully that I only cut this part, not these cables, and then this area in here, and then we looked at how I take these connectors away. And then we looked at how I take these connectors away. There's only idea that I press this area and then I pull out, and then in here pull out. And I have to only remember, it is good to take photo, that I remember that in what position these connectors goes back. This is really important, that I have to take one photo in my cell phone in this way, that I remember that this goes in here, that one in here, and then this one in here, and then we go forward, and in this, that connector opens in here, and in here we have this connector. It's like sideways, and then in here this, that, and this slot, this opens nicely. There is a small connector in that area, and I press in this way, and then this opens also nicely in this click, and then we pull out this cable. Excellent. And I take cables away in these holders, and then in here small clip inside. Let's that way, and I press this outer area, and now this side panel, this is free. Excellent. Okay, really washing machines, this side and this switch panel, and there we can see this maker, and then there are those code that in what product this fits, and now this electric switch dashboard is free. Very good. And then we need to open the side areas screws, and let's go to look at how we do that. Then when I removed that dashboard and switch, electric switch panel, then I can lift up this upper roof area, that this cover, and now this up area in here is free also. Excellent. And then we look in here, there are couple of Torx head screws, and when I install a little bit this support, these two screws, they are easy to open. And firstly I open this Torx head screw. It looks like that, small Torx head. And then second is in here, this up in this area. Okay, and that one is also free. And then this cover, it moves, and this cover also opens. Now when I removed these two screws, now this outer, that this part opens, and I can take this hose away in this direction. Good. Okay, now this hose goes out nicely in that way, and now this cover is free. And then there is one Torx screw in here, and now this water pump, it is free, I believe. Now yes, water pump goes like deeper, Now water pump is in there, and there is one interesting switch. And do you know that what is this red switch? Okay, now water pump is free, and then we look next area what we go to open. And door joints opens in this way up, and then I lift out it. In here we have two screws. That one, and then this one, and then this support frame. When I lift them up, now it's open. Good. Now it's free. And then also this front cover is more movable. Okay, and now this front cover is more movable, and we can open next hose what is in here. Okay, and I need really pliers that I compress these sides, and then I move this connector and this water hose in this way open. Good. And then there is second hose in also in that back area, and I can open also this hose in here, and I can remove that cable also in this way. Now, and there is this spring what I need to open, and we can see this when I compress, then this becomes bigger. Good. Okay, and next I need to open and remove this upper part bolts, and that's I now rotate this my washing machine in different position that we can see this upper areas, bolts and joints what we need to open. Okay, and now we are looking in this up area, and there is that joint what I need to open next in these bolts. There is really this front area in here, that area, but now I open these screws in here, that one, and in here this one. Good. And now this frame is away. In here, this side area, I open this screw, and then we can take this washing, this where we install this washing liquid. I can open these joints next. And now I remove these water lines, and I have pliers, and when I compress this side in this way, and at the same time I can rotate a little bit this hose. This hose opens, and also in here, and a little bit movement. In that way they can be a little bit stuck, but then I move that. Now this hose opens. Good. And then there is one big hose in that area. Now I need even bigger pliers that I can compress this lock connector, this plier away in that way. Now it moves away, and now this liquid cover, now it's free. Okay, good. And in this side area there is this electric connector switch, and I open also this keeping bolt, and I release these electric cables in that way. Good. And in here we can see these water lines, this on and off switch, these two parts, and there is this screws that we can open, but before that I remove this electric connector. Both of these I press this in this way, and these are really this switch what controls this water movement to this washing machines, this inside area. Okay, and then we have in here in up area this steel frame, and I need now 13mm socket that I open two of these bolts. This is first one and then second. And this is really steel frame, quite heavy. And there are those bolts and this another side in here what keeps this in position. That kind of bolts, good. Then there is one and two springs what keeps this central washing drum in position, and for that opening I need now big pliers that I can move this little bit like in. I pull that out in this way, and I can use this my screwdriver also that I bend this little bit, and then in this, let's look at how easy this is to open in that way. And these are quite heavy springs, and now it seems that this is not so easy to take out. It seems that now these springs, they are so durable that I can't take this in this position out, and that's I have to rotate this my washing machine again in different position. Okay, and then I remove this washing machine's flywheel, that part, and there is 13mm bolt what I open. There is this bolt and then this flywheel. Good. Now I rotate that my washing machine so that there is this bottom area, and I have to take next this steel cover away. There is rivets in here, and I can cut these rivets with my this angle driver, and now I cut. It is like first one, and now this part opens, and then I open next one in here. And then cover opens more, and in down area. And then one is left in here, but I think that, yes, that they are. Now this cover opens. This is really bottom area, and now we can take out like this our electric motor, and it was really interesting that this bottom cover, it is like installed in there by rivets, because if there was these screws, it is easier to open, but there is one rivet left, and we can go to look that closer. Really, when we install this back, we can use these rivets, or then we can install in here screws in here, and then we have better quality in this work. There is really now this washing machine's motor. Now I can disconnect these cables. Then I press this side area. Firstly, I can pull out this slot in here in that way, and then these cables a little bit up. They open in this way, and then one Torx bolt in there. This really opens when I press these sides, and then there's one Torx head screw, and then that area I need my pliers. There are my pliers, and now I carefully cut this plier in here, and now this electric motor is free. There is really this washing machine's motor, very high quality device, and maker is, I believe that, is there any sign, but this should be to be Siemens engine. Okay, and this is like washing machines, this motor, quite big part. And then we go forward. Then I take this drying out pump away, and firstly I open these connectors, these fasteners, with my pliers. Now I have this old style pliers, and let's look at how I managed to open. Now this opens nicely, good. And then I a little bit rotate that hose, and then there's second connector, and I use also this plier in here. This tool is really important, and now I open this hose, and then there is this connector, and I press this side, and I take this electric connector away, and this is really this drying out pump, and maker is in there, and let's look closer. Then this washing machine's outer cover, this boot removal, it happens so that I take flathead screwdriver and I carefully bend that area in here, and I install this my screw in here, and then firstly this spring keeps this boot in position in that way, and it goes like in this outer area. When we install that back, there is the spring what we have to release and open. And now when this is free, I can move this boot in there, and then this cover, outer cover, opens, and there is one part what I need to open. Carefully take out this central lock. There is this keeper. Now this outer element, washing machine's outer cover panel, is free. Nice engineering. Then we can look also that how works this washing machine's emergency, this red switch. It is like in down area, and when I press that, then this lock opens. Look, we can find this in hidden, this red switch, and it looks like that. But this is like this washing machine's doors electric lock, and using that switch we can open this lock. Nice. Now when we have removed this front cover and we have opened this boot, then we can take this big steel support frame in away, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, and I open those next. Okay, and for that opening I need 13mm socket, and I can open this by hand or then this impact driver in this way. And there are those big bolts, And then I open second. And remember that this is very heavy. Be carefully. This is steel. And at that point we have to work carefully, because now it drops to ground. This black steel weights and support frame. Okay, and it is this part in here. This is the heaviest part in this washing machine, really heavy, like 20 to 30 pounds. Okay, and now we can continue this our disassemble, so that we are trying to take out next parts. And I continue, and this is like this washing machine's computer area, the circuit board, and there is one offset screw in here, and that area is free. And then in this up area there is next bolt what I need to open. This is really heating element, and how I can replace washing machine's heating element. There is 10 mm bolt, and I open that. Now bolt is free, and then I can open this switch. I press this electric connectors, and that way, and this one, and now this heater element, it is more free, but it is a little bit stuck, but there's maybe some, this is, I believe, that temp sensor in this part, and when I work in a little bit I can take this heating element away. And now when I remove that screw, I can press this area and then lift out this washing machine's central computer unit. This is like the circuit board, and now circuit board area, it is free. And then I can open also these electric connectors. There are those connectors. Now I can disconnect all of these cables away in that way, and then we have more space to work in here. Then this washing machine's door boot replace. There is metallic spring in here, that area, and when I have hook tool I can move the spring in what looks like that. I can remove that, and then I can take this boot away in this position that I have flathead screwdriver, and I carefully bend this boot away that way, and then we can check that how many holes we have. There's one hole in here, and we can purchase new part, and this part goes to down. Okay, good. You can see that there are these washing machines choke and springs. What purpose is to eliminate this vibration and movement, and if we have too much movement we have to replace this part, and there is this bolt, and now I need 13 mm socket, and in this direction there's my 13 mm socket and longer extension. I install this my bolt, this socket in this bolt, and then I use my impact driver. And now bolt opens. There we can see this bolt. It looks like that, and now this choke is free in this area. And then how I can notice that this my washing machine's shock absorber and spring is bad. If this moves in this way without any resistance, then this is too long, and that's my washing machine moves like up and down and in ground. And we need to replace this choke, and that's I have to now open a couple of bolts more. And this choke replace means that I have to open more bolts, and let's go to forward. Now I am removing these up area springs, and when this our washing machine is in down a little bit in upwards, then these springs are easier to open, because otherwise these are really difficult to open. And let's look this upper one also, up one, and let's look at how easily this opens. This opens also easily, and there is the spring, and this purpose is to keep this washing machine's drum in balance. And now we have hint that this our drum unit moves really easily. And final part is to take this drum away. Now I am planning to take this drum away, and purpose is that I have to firstly disconnect all of these electric cables position, and now I have to take most of these away, and there is still some of those left, but the drum is almost free. And let's look at what I need to take, what part I need to take away next. Next part is really this washing machine's computer unit, and there are those connectors, and let's look, this is really well protected, and I have to open this cover, and let's look at what we can see in their inside. It's really this washing machine's computer unit, and when I press these sides and I move these areas, I can see in their inner area, and there is really circuit board, and then again when I press these sides I can take these connectors away in this way. And there is that one side, and then pull out. It opens in this way, and then this connector, and then that side, and now almost all this part opens in this way, and then ground cable is the last one, and this is like I have to press this area, and then this opens, and there is really this washing machine's computer unit and circuit board, and there is CPU, look, in inner area. And maker is, this is Siemens made, I believe. And there is really computer unit in inside. Okay, good. When I have removed all of these cables, this central drum is free, and I can even take that away. Now I take this outer metallic part, and now we have left this central drum, and I will open that next. And then there are torque set bolts in here, what I need to open when I am removing this and opening this drum, and also these bolts opening, they are both sides in here and then in that side, both sides. But let's take firstly these screws away. Okay, and for that opening I need now a little bit longer torques head, this screw and this tool, and also a little bit bigger extensions in my impact driver. But let's look at how I open these screws. This is first one. Okay, opens nicely. then next is in here. Let's look. Okay, good. Now this opens, then we go forward. There is in that area in here. There was second screw, and then in here is next one. Good. Then we go in here. Good. When I have take all of these screws away in that area, I have to then rotate that another side. That way, and then there are screws in here. Here there are screws. And in this area. Let's look more. And then I rotate my drum in this position that I can take good. And then there is this shock, two of those. Good. I have take all of these screws away, and then next step is to open these two parts connection, and there are some of these connectors, and let's look that when I use my screwdriver, that when I can, how I can open these things. Okay, and then I take big flathead screwdriver and I bend this area in that way, and then this washing machine's parts separates. Good. Parts are separated. I can take this choke and spring away, and this is really part what makes and eliminates this my washing machine's vibration. And if this looks in that way, it is bad, and there are this spare part that I can purchase new choke and spring in my washing machine. Good, and now we can look also in inside. And there is really washing machine room, and I can lift this room away in here, and now we can see these parts. And there is really this outer part, and there is this washing machine's heating element. This part makes this heating, and there we can see that this is like heating element, and it makes this our washing clothes to boil and warm. Good. There is really washing machine room still, and there is this shaft, and there are bolts that I can open these things, and next I open these bolts, and 13mm bolts. And there is this bolt, and then next one. Little bit tight, but no worry. And then final bolt in here. And now this part is free, and then I use my flathead screwdriver. I believe that I can remove that. It is actually still in very well in position. It's actually rivets that I have to remove. This rivets, very durable this construction, and in these areas we can see that how these clothes are washing by this movement. Very interesting device. Okay, then we have in here this 9 bearings. In this area, this is mine bearing in washing machine. In this area, and there is shaft, and there is 2 bearings, first in inner and then outer bearing in here. Very nice. And this is like this cover where washing happens. And this is really this washing machine's frame, and now it is empty, and we have made this job and task, and all parts are disassembled. And this is like end of this video. And thank you for watching, and I hope that now you can also repair your washing machine.